Okay, lesson 12 on word problems. So the first type is called slope-intercept. So it says, Evan is going to the county fair this weekend. The admission to the fair is $5, and the cost per ride is 50 cents. If his parents gave him $20, write and solve a linear equation to find out how many rides he can go on. So for your slope, you should know that if it's 50 cents per ride, that's your key. And I'm going to use M for slope. That's your key, that is the slope. And then the admission, your $5, that would be your y-intercept. So write and solve to how many rides. So we have y equals 0.5 or 50x. It doesn't matter. I'll do 50 cents. 0.50x plus $5. And then when you solve it, you know you're going to minus 5. Or sorry. Okay, hold on. If his parents gave him $20. So now we need to fill in the $20 for the y because we're solving for x. And so we have this. And then we're going to minus 5 to both sides. And we get 0.50x. And then we're going to do 15 divided by 0.5. And that gives us 30 rides. And you don't have to label, but if you do and then you go back and make sure it makes sense, then you know you've done it right. Okay, so let's try another one. And if you want to stop and pause and do it yourself, that would be great. So we have, while visiting Crimson Lake, Sally decided to go kayaking. The rangers charge $8.50 per hour. So that would be your slope. I'm just going to put an M there. In addition to a $25 deposit. So that's going to be your y-intercept. If she rented it from 11:30 until 2:30, write and solve an equation. So first we have y equals $8.50 plus the $25 deposit. And now it says if she rented from 11:30 to 2:30, find the total cost. So on this one, we're finding the total cost. The other one, they gave him $20, and we had to find out how many rides. And so that's where we were solving for x. But on this one, we have to 11:30 to 2:30 is 12:30, 1:30, 2:30. So that's 3 hours. So we are going to put the 3 in where the x is. And we're going to do $8.50 times 3 plus 25. And we get y, which is the money, equals $50.50. Okay, and then you go ahead and pause it and do the next two and see what you come up with. Okay, so for number 3, I have my work there. It should be 9 years for the answer. You have your slope and your y-intercept here. I put the B and the M. And then it says how many years, so you're solving for the x. And if it starts at, let's see here. Oh, when it's worth this, 51.35. So then that's where you put it in the y. And depreciate means to go down. So that's why the slope needs to be negative 4,200. The next one, your slope is 235 per gallon. The car wash is $6. That's your y-intercept. And then if you have $40, so that goes under the y. And then you find out how much gas, and you can round that, but I just put 14.47. Okay, so that's those type of problems. Then you have another type. It says Sam ordered 2 hamburgers and 3 hot dogs from the concession stand at the baseball game. His bill came to $19.05. If hamburgers cost $3.25 each, write and solve a linear equation. So the reason these are called standard form is, let's see here. I'm going to assign my variables. So I'm going to use X and Y, and I'm going to use X for hamburgers and Y for hot dogs. And I'm just going to abbreviate there. Okay. So if it says he ordered 2 hamburgers, we have 2 times the price of hamburgers plus 3 times the price of hot dogs equals a total of $19.05. And then it tells you hamburgers cost $5.25 each. So you might have done this already ahead of time if you read through the whole thing. So basically you're going to do 2 times, I'm just going to put that right there, $5.25, which is $10.50 plus 3y equals $19.05. And then you're going to minus $10.50 and get $8.55. And then your y equals $2.85. So that's how much each hot dog cost. And if you wanted to plug that in there and multiply by 3 and make sure that this row equals 1905, that's how you could check it. Okay. And again, you can always pause it and do these yourself if you'd like. And this is just what, if you can solve it a better way or easier way, that is fine. Okay, tickets at a school play cost $4 in advance or $5 at the door. Total ticket sales. So I'm going to do X is advance and Y is the door. That's what I'm choosing. So they are $4 times the number of advance tickets plus $5 times the door ones equals $440. If no tickets were sold in advance, write and solve a linear equation to find how many were sold at the door. So obviously, if no tickets were sold in advance, this would be 0, which basically cancels that out. So you have 5y equals 440, divide by 5, and you get 88 tickets. So go ahead and pause and try to do the next 2. And I will do them, and then we'll talk about them. Okay, so for number 7, we have dimes and quarters. This is always tricky with money. You have to multiply by the value of the money. So we did 10 cents and 25 cents. So you can see there what you got. So it should be 24 dimes. And then number 8, we have solid and printed gift wrap. And then I went ahead and did 5 times the, let's see here, times the 325 to get that amount. Okay. Okay, the next type is called point slope. And this is, you use it when a problem gives like a sample point and a rate of change. And again, if you can find a better way, that is fine, because some people don't like point slope. So it says at Eagle Bay, it costs $12 per hour to rent a canoe. So that would probably be your slope per hour. Nate and his friends rented a canoe for 4 hours and paid $68. Write and solve an equation to find the cost to rent the canoe for 7 hours. So there's different ways you can do this, but if you see this, this is your point. So 4 hours, comma 68. That would be like a point on the graph. 4 would be your X, 68 would be your Y. And then we want to find out how much for 7 hours. So what they do is Y minus Y. So Y minus 68 equals, and then you take your slope, times your X minus 4. That's that point slope formula. And then you have 12x minus 48. Ooh, that's minus 48 if you're listening. Y minus 68. And then we're going to add 68. So we have 12x. And when you add 68, you get plus 20. So then once you get that, you take your 7 hours and you times it by 12. So you put your 7 in here. and then you get plus 20, and so you get your y equals $104. Okay. Next one. Now, if you can find a better way, that is fine, and share it with us. Number 10, a construction company charges $18 per hour. There's your slope because it's per hour for debris removal, plus a one-time fee for the use of a trash dumpster. The total fee for 8 hours of service was $219. So there is your point that it'll go through. Write and solve to find the one-time fee. Okay, so we got y minus 219 equals your slope times x minus 8. And then you know you're going to distribute here, and then we're going to add 219. So I'm going to go ahead and show that we have 18x plus 75. And then we're trying to find the one-time fee. So we are going to put 0 in here because we want to know what it is before there's any per hour charges. So 18 times 0 is 0. Your one-time fee, or it would be your y-intercept, is going to be 75. Now you should be able to do your y equals mx plus b on this also if you don't like point slope formula. So if you did, let's see, if we did y, which is 219, equals your slope, mx, x is 8, plus b, and then you did 18 times 8, and then you do 219 minus that, you should get 75. So that is an easier way to do it if you prefer that. So I'm going to have you go ahead and pause it and do 11 and 12, and then come back. Okay, I'm going to talk about number 11. I did the y equals mx plus b form just to show a different way, which I got 25. And if you did point slope formula, you should still get that. And then I put it into 39.95x plus 25. But then the question doesn't want the one-time fee. They want to know how much it costs for 2 years of service. So this one's tricky because you have to change it to months because this one was in months. I don't know if I would have caught that without an answer key in front of me. So then you put your 24 times this and then plus 25, and this is what it's going to cost for your 2 years. Now, the only way you'd catch it is if you times that by 2 instead and realize that your answer doesn't make sense because 6 months was $264. And so then, if you times this by 2, that's going to be less than your 6 months, and maybe you would have caught it. So that's why it's important to see if our answers make sense. Okay, so go ahead and pause and do number 12 now, if you haven't already. Okay, number 12. If I can get this to move. Oh, there we go. Number 12. I did point slope formula, but I just went ahead and put the equation down there because you should be able to solve that. And then they want the installation fee, so that would be your y-intercept. Okay, and the last types are called 2 points. It's when they give you 2 sample points. So it says to surf the internet for 15 minutes, it cost $4.05. Oops. So that would be one ordered pair. 15 minutes, $4.05. For 40 minutes, it cost $5.80. So it says, write to find the cost for surfing the web for 1 hour. So you need to do y minus y over x minus x to find the slope, which you should get as 7 cents. And then to find this cost for surfing the web for 1 hour, This one's a tricky one again, since they give you in minutes, the very ending has to be in minutes. So you're going to do either y equals mx plus b and use one of these points, or you're going to do point slope formula. And by now you should already be able to do that. And you're going to get the equation of y equals 0.07x. Oh my golly, let me erase that. I'm having difficulty here now all of a sudden. 0.07x, and then you're going to get plus 3. Okay, so then to find the cost of surfing the web for 1 hour, you're going to put 60 minutes into that. And again, if you put 1, then you're going to get like $3.07 if you put a 1 in there, and that should not make sense to you. So you're going to do 60 minutes, and you're going to get y equals $7.20, which makes sense, because if 40 minutes was this much, that makes sense. Otherwise, you'd be going backwards, and that wouldn't make sense. Okay, next one, number 14. Water boils at 100 degrees Celsius or 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius and 32 degrees Fahrenheit. If the weather forecaster says it'll be 25 Celsius today, write to find out what the Fahrenheit temp is. Okay, so what we're saying is at 100 degrees Celsius, like if we were going to graph that, it would be 212 Fahrenheit. And if it was 0 degrees Celsius, it would be 32. So you need to do y minus y over x minus x to find the slope. And please do it. Don't just write down what I get. You need to practice it. You're going to get the slope as 1.8. And so then you're going to do your point slope formula, or your y equals mx plus b. Plug this in, and one of these, doesn't matter which one, I guess I'd probably choose that one since it has a 0 in it. And you're going to get y equals 1.8x. And then you should be getting plus 32 as your y-intercept. I hope you're working those out. And then the question says if it's 25 degrees Celsius. So you're going to put, the Celsius has been the x the whole time, so you're going to put that in for the x, and you should get y equals 77. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and pause it and do 15 and 16 on your own. So I thought people might mess up on this, so I wanted to draw attention to this. 3 years, 15,000. And then it says after 2 more years. So now it's 5 years, not a 2. And then your slope should be negative 200. And then again, point slope formula, or y equals mx plus b. And you'll end up getting the equation y equals negative 2,000x, and your slope, or your y-intercept, should end up being plus 21,000. So basically that's what the price started at. Okay, so then it says find the value of the car after 8 years. So x is the 8, so you're going to plug the 8 in there, and you're going to do negative 2,000 times 8 plus 21,000, and it's going to be $5,000. And this is pretty real life, because cars depreciate the minute you drive them off the lot. Okay, so now you try to do number 16, and I will pause it. Okay, the last one, number 16, you have your 2 order pairs, which gives you a slope of 79. And then when you find the y-intercept, that is your installation fee. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and have you do 17, 18, 19, and 20 at your leisure, and hopefully on your honor that you do it. And I'm going to write the answers in there, but you definitely should be working them out because you're going to have to do them on the test. So make sure you work them out, but I want to give you the answers so you know if you are doing it right or not. So this is 7.5 pounds LBS. 18, when you do it, you should be getting 174 pounds. 19, when you do it, you should get 209. And then 20, when you do it, you should get 75. And the test will be like this, where they're random. It's not going to say like point slope formula or, 2 points that you're going to have to figure out. So this is a good challenge for you on these 4. I know that was a long video.